First, of course, we are going to lube up the walls. If you can't remove the bottom section of the rod, you just try using a mallet. Screw in the bolts a little bit and hit on the bolts. Until it comes off. Just like this. Okay, now you remove the bolts. You put some assembly lube on the bottom. You bring in the piston ring compressor tool. I got this one also from AutoZone. I think it was around $10. And this one is I think the better option, because I had the previous one from Harbor Freight, and it was a much bigger diameter. I could still manage to put it in, but it's a little difficult. So I'm going to use this one today. And what you have to do is just insert this tool right here and release from the button, and it's gonna start expanding. If you have the desired length, you just release the button, locks into position, and then you start wrenching it to compress it. I'm going to put a little oil in here, so it's gonna be more easier. You can put a little oil on the piston itself. Now we are putting it into the compressor. Twist on the knob. Okay, so the little bump facing toward the front of the engine. Also crank the engine, crank the crankshaft, so the bottom of the rod is not gonna hit by any chance the crankshaft. And now there you go. First one is in. The fourth one. So the reason I'm doing the first one and the fourth one the first time, and then the second and the third one in the second try, is because the way the crank is looking, it's not like the whole thing is straight. It has some higher points for the rods and a lower, and the way the firing order and the piston is working is the first and the last one, the second and the third one in a pair. So I'm going to remove the bolts. First I'm going to remove the bolts, and then I'm going to lube it up and install it. gonna set it to 35. I'm going to tighten the bolts. Then I'm going to tighten the fourth one. Okay guys, now that all the caps are on and I managed to tighten all the bolt to 50 to 52 torque feet a pound. The next step is to use the stretch gauge, and I already used two of the bolts. Well, usually the bolts are not perfectly symmetrical, so that means one bolt could be a bit longer than the other one. So what I was doing, I made sure that the first bolt difference, it was like 1/1000 of an inch, so between the 0 and the first line over there. So we are pretty accurate. The next thing I'm going to do is insert the dial. You have to hook it up to both of the sides. You have to make sure that it's right in the middle, and if it's right in the middle, you're gonna have a reading between 33 and usually 35. I already went through with all of the bolts. Okay guys, I just called Wiseco, and they told me that you don't have to follow specifically these numbers. If you manage to torque it to this spec and you still haven't reached these numbers, you're still good, because this is like the maximum stretch. After that, you probably just crush the bearings. So even if you're lower than than these specs over here on the stretch mark, you're still good to go. So just make sure that you torque all the bolts to between 50 and 55, and you guys are good to go. All right, I made sure that everything now is loosened up and retorqued it to 52, just to make sure that, you know, it's in between the range. The next step is what I'm going to do is lube up everything, so it's gonna roll much easier everywhere. And I'm going to start assembling the squirters. I'm going to install it back over there, all 4 of them. Before that, I'm going to clean it, then I'm going to install it, and making sure that bend it a little bit outward, because the stock pistons were much smaller, and these pistons are a little bit longer, so I have to accommodate the squirters so it's gonna still fit. After that, I'm going to reinstall the plate, reinstall the pickup tube. Yeah, reinstall the pickup tube, put on the oil pan. Then I'm going to install the oil pump, the rear seal, and hopefully when I get the head, the engine is gonna be already pre-assembled. I just have to put, oh, and also the core plugs, freeze plugs, call it whatever you want it. Some people are just putting it back dry, hit it with one of those bearing removing tools. I think I'm going to use the same thing, but first I'm going to put a little bit of sealer on it, and I'm going to put it like that because my shop told me it's better, much better that way. Otherwise you can run into some issues. So I'm going to follow his directions. Also, I already installed the new bearings. I'm going to do a balance shaft delete on the oil pump, so it's gonna run a little much harsher, but less components to fail. So I'm just going with that. So I think the easiest way, if you use an extension, this one is like a 4 or 5 inch extension, and install the bolt, install the squirter on the top, and just try to put it in there. Okay guys, I don't know if you guys can see, probably not much, but I already installed all 4 of them, tightened to 24 pound-feet of torque. And since I already have the rotation assembly inside, it was a hell of a job. I managed to Mickey Mouse the installation with some normal magnet. I was putting it on the socket, and then I installed everything into the socket, and you know, slowly, very carefully, I managed to align it, put it in there, and tighten it until it catches it, and then I managed to put in the extensions from here. Of course, you're gonna rotate the balance. You're gonna rotate the crankshaft so you have more space. You can stick it from here. Also, unfortunately, this is the only way to stick it from here. Every single other place has to be from the top. Also, I suggest you to get this swivel extension. Otherwise, it's gonna be really hard to line it up perfectly and tighten it. But I managed to install those. I was checking also the clearance, if I have enough clearance from the jets. First time when I bent the first quarter, that was way too much and hit the crankshaft, the balance. I don't know what it's called, this plate. I don't know what it's called, this side. I think it's like a balancer or something. So it was hitting right over here on the top or on the bottom. I mean, I don't know which end was hitting it. So I had to bend it back to the original location, and with that I managed to get away with perfect clearance. So it's not hitting the bottom of the piston, it's not hitting the crank itself. So I'm good to go. Yeah, because of the honing, boring, and brand new rings, it's gonna go a little more difficult now. Yeah, the next step, hopefully next time when I'm gonna have more time, I can work a little more on the engine and finish the bottom end. Okay guys, see you guys when I'm going to install the rest of the parts.